Sophia,
Hi, Christian.
how are you?
Well, I'm doing much better now that we won that thriller in that last minute. Uh,
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this not many times do we see Madrid lately come back and win a game, right?
yeah, definitely. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to go back to winning ways, scoring lots of goals and winning 3-0. So,
Right, right, yeah. So, I mean, let's get right down to it. I mean, when did it start? When did your passion for the greatest club in the world, obviously, when did that start?
well, I've always been a sports fan, and growing up in Chicago, I grew up with the Bulls. I was a Bulls fan. Basketball was my first love, I will say. But growing up in my parents, my dad loves soccer. You know, they're from Mexico. So my dad would watch soccer every Sunday, and I wasn't really into it. So actually, football came at a later stage when I was in my 20s and in California. So I actually became a Real Madrid fan by going to a friendly in California. So that's when it all started in 2010 or 11. 2010, 11, I started to become a Real Madrid fan because my friend had invited me to a friendly game versus the LA Galaxy. And I saw so many people and Madridistas, and I fell in love. And Cristiano Ronaldo was playing, and he wasn't playing a lot, but I fell in love. And a year later, I decided to go to the Bernabeu by myself on a trip to Madrid. And I did the whole tour. I attended my first game. It was 2011, actually, 2011. I went on my own. I bought my tickets on my own, and I experienced it live. And that was a different story. The Bernabeu tour was what got me, and just being there and the atmosphere. And I was hooked ever since.
Now, when you went to Madrid, I mean, how was it when you got there? I mean, did it surprise you? Was it what you expected? I mean, what was that first trip like?
Well, I actually went to Barcelona first. Barcelona is, I've always wanted to go to Spain, and Barcelona was the first city that I actually wanted to go to. So I saw La Sagrada Familia, and I'm a beach person. So I fell in love with Barcelona. And then going to Madrid was it's very different than Barcelona. So I compared to Barcelona, maybe like LA, and Madrid more like a New York type of style.
Hmm.
And going to Madrid, it was I did the sightseeing and everything, and just I think what really made me love Madrid was going to Real Madrid games, because later on, as we'll probably go into it, Madrid is a city where you go to, and it takes a while for you to experience and visit new things and to see the lifestyle. So you fall more in love with Madrid the more you go.
Right, right. And then when you went to the Bernabeu and you took the tour, I mean, what was that like when you walked in through those doors and you saw the trophies and it's different now, obviously. Obviously, there are more trophies added.
Yeah, well, I didn't really know much about the club, so I just wanted to just dive in and learn the club's history. And I learned about, Di Stefano and Paco Gento, and all the generations before, and that was I love history, so that was amazing to me. And then just getting to know the team through its history and through what it stands for is what made me a more of a Madridista. And
Mhm.
so I went to a Real Madrid game that first year, and then I went to a Champions League game. I bought my tickets last minute to go to a Champions League, and it was against Tottenham Hotspur, and we won. And Tottenham fans are crazy. I love them. And I had no idea. We'll probably go into this later too. The atmosphere at the game is completely different than in the United States. Um, you know, going to a game in the U.S., I mean, it's different from basketball to soccer to baseball. You know, I'm always cheering, I'm always rooting, but here a lot of people, you know, there's different sections where you go and you sit down and you watch a game. You don't stand up, you don't cheer. There's a cheering section. So it was a lot different for me. And as a woman going to a game, it's interesting because there's, I would say 80% of the audiences are men. So,
You know that a little bit of a side note for history is that my grandmother on my mom's side, she went to Boca Juniors games in Argentina, and there was a women's section back in the, I would say the 50s. Okay. 40s, 50s, and that back then, that's how they did that in Argentina. Now to parallel that with what you just explained, in the United States, we're all spread apart differently. You know, fans are, you know, visiting fans are mixed with home fans, but in Europe, it's not like that. You have a block on one side of one team and the rest the home side, right?
Exactly, and I had no idea that happened, and I had no idea that the visitor section was up above, and depending on which game you go to, you know, they have to come in an hour before, and then they stay, you know, depending on. So I went to a derby, Atlético de Madrid at El Calderón, and I didn't really want to go, but you know, Ale from Brazil, she invited me, and she's like, come on, let's go. And so I decided to go, and it was like right after we had won La Décima. So the tension was like really high. And I remember taking a bus there with El Fondo Sur. We pre-gamed, we did the tifo and everything. It was an incredible experience. I never thought I'd experience something like that. So I was happy that I went. So we took a bus there, and the bus they threw bottles at it. Atletico fans threw bottles at it. The windows broke. We had to be escorted through a private entrance in El Calderón with police just watching us, and Atletico fans just booing and going crazy. And we lost that game. But very
not very often that happens, obviously.
Not very often. Oh, yeah. Not very often, but we lost, and we had to stay at the stadium for an hour after the game. I had to go to the bathroom. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Police was very on high alert. So it's a lot different going to away games. I've been to a couple, and I like it, but I think once, and I've been to Camp Nou as well twice, and going to El Bernabeu is the best.
Yeah. Well, when you're at home, I mean, you're around those that love the club as much as you. It's, you know, it's much safer, and you enjoy the environment more. Going on the road, it's a little, yeah, unnerving, obviously, depending on who you're playing against, obviously. A Clásico, the Derby, those are the two fierce rivals inside Spain. But you've been to other stadiums, too. I think you went to San Mamés?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, San Mamés. It seems like every game that I traveled to, they lost. And it was that first year that I traveled with the team. And I think some of the fans were like, you're el gafe, which is your bad luck. And I'm like, I'm never traveling again. But yeah, I went to San Mamés. San Mamés, wow. A beautiful stadium. The fans there are just so dedicated. And going to an away game with your Real Madrid shirt is interesting because, you know, you're very proud. You're walking to the stadium, but you have millions of away fans around you, and they're booing you. They hate you. They hate you. And it's an experience. But yeah, the San Mamés, I love San Mamés. It's just a beautiful stadium. And I love their fans too. They're so dedicated. And that club has so much history.
Yeah, that is a really old rivalry. I think those two clubs have played each other so much over the years. I think the most games played against each other besides Barcelona, I think, is Athletic Bilbao. They've never gone down to second division either. I mean, that is you know, saying it like in the United States terms for the Americans watching this, I mean, like you would have the Lakers against the Knicks, for example. Like those are two very old franchises that have played throughout the decades, and that's pretty much what it is in Spain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting you say that when you've gone to road games and they haven't turned out a win, let's say. I remember going to a Copa del Rey final in 2014, and it was in Mestalla, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and I went with my mother, and Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play. He was injured. He didn't play in that game. So I'm in the bus for Peña La Gran Familia. Shout out to Gerardo.
Yeah.
So we're on the bus, and he gives me the microphone and says, "You'd like to say some words." So I said, you know, thank you. It's an honor to be here. I can't wait to see the game. And by the way, I want everyone to know that every game I attend of Real Madrid, we have won. And the bus erupted. They were like, we're going to win. Because everyone was very nervous because there's no Cristiano Ronaldo and you have Barcelona, you're playing in the Copa final. Like, you know, it's a final, right? Yeah. And so the game happens. And we win 2-1. I get back on the bus, and they wanted to like raise me up. You know, they call me talisman. You know, we got to keep you here. You know.
Oh wow, yeah. You were probably the third trophy. They were probably.
Oh yeah, I know, but well, not on my head, but you know, just carry it. Yeah, just carrying. But it was an amazing. You're absolutely right. The experience of watching Real Madrid in person is something else. It's out of this world. I mean, it's really incredible. Now, besides Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, what other player really did you fall in love with that you love following week in, week out?
Right. Well, Cristiano, Sergio Ramos, Luka Modric, Karim Benzema, always. The number one. I love Luka Modric. I think when he leaves, we're really going to suffer. And also Ramos, we're going to suffer as well because he's our leader. Ramos is our leader. And I know he's up for his contract and they're negotiating right now. And they want him to cut his pay and, you know, football is a business and he's got to do what he's got to do. And the club's got to do what they got to do. They're going through a financial, you know, with COVID going on right now. So I really hope Ramos decides to stay and not go to PSG. So yeah.
You would, I mean, if you were in that position, you would re-sign him, no doubt.
I would re-sign him, no doubt. He's the leader of our club. He's our motivator. He's done so much for the club. Even without Ramos, you can see how much we struggle. He's our captain. He goes on the field and he gets everybody motivated. And without him, we're just walking around like, you know. And I think we have a great team, but we need that, and that's what I miss about Cristiano because he's just so dedicated, and he was a leader, you know, and he brought so much to the club, and we haven't replaced that yet. And Ramos, having Ramos leave is just going to be heartbreaking, but who knows? I mean, Mbappé, I love Mbappé, but he's very young. I don't see him as a leader. I think he's very talented, but it takes more than talent to win, you know, three Champions Leagues in a row, win Liga after Liga, you know? So we'll see.
It's very, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's very difficult to replace a legendary squad. What we witnessed this decade, I mean, we haven't seen it in 50 years.
Right.
And that is very hard. Because you don't want to make so much of a change over and the team suffers and drops below Champions League qualifying. That can't happen. You know, right. Real Madrid and Europa League, and we flirted with that actually in the last group game.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't even imagine. I can't.
Yeah, that's no good. I mean, if that would have gone the other way, whoa, there would have been certain people paying the price for that. That's for sure. Yeah. So it's very difficult. You mentioned Mbappé. You know, Haaland has been thrown out there. I mean, obviously, the rumor mill goes on and on and on. But yeah, what Florentino did over the I think the first 4 or 5 years building that team to win 4 out of 5 Champions League titles. I mean, and they were all put together in their prime, and then they stayed together. That's very difficult. I mean, you remember that documentary, The Last Dance, right, on Netflix?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because it's a very fitting parallel. You have The Last Dance, for people that haven't seen it, it's about the Chicago Bulls and their dynasty in the 90s, winning 6 titles in 8 years. And the thing is, what I'm saying with that is that you had a legendary player, team, coach, and they stayed together up until when they could, and they're winning, and it's not easy. I mean, the people have to love being together and winning together, and they're not putting individual motivations ahead of the team, right? That's what Madrid was able to do, but now it's entering a transition phase. Absolutely,
and the transition phase, we're going through, when Zidane came back, I think when Zidane left, he knew that we were going to struggle, and he knew if he continued without Ronaldo, he was eventually going to get probably sacked, but there's more to it than that. And Florentino probably knows that it's a transition phase, and we got to get back to winning ways. I mean, now we're just, we're playing well. We have a couple games that we do really good, and then we have injuries and we have bad luck, but that's football, and Zidane, as a coach, he's got to make everybody happy. And there's been a lot of players that have left, Gareth Bale, just recently Odegaard. We have a big squad, we have a talented squad, but it's just for him to just kind of manage everybody and throughout the whole season and not get injured, and it's difficult. It's a lot more difficult than it sounds. So I'm just hoping for this year that we get through it. Let's push for La Liga. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do
it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have Atalanta round of 16. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to have Eden Hazard in the first leg. We're not going to have Sergio Ramos in either game, which is really a disappointment. I mean, it's going to be the 3rd year in a row that Sergio Ramos is not going to be on the field in that knockout stage. Right. So what do you see with Atalanta? Have you seen Atalanta this season? How do you see Madrid going up against that team?
I just think anybody in the Champions League right now for us is difficult, and I don't want to say that, but it is, having our injuries and the way that we're playing. But we are Real Madrid, and we will give it our 110%. Atalanta, they've made a run the past couple of years, so any Italian team is going to be difficult, but without fans, so it might be a little bit easier. So I'm hoping for without Ramos, really last year he had a couple yellow cards and he couldn't play, so yeah. And we just suffered. I don't know. I think we'll get through this round. We have to, because it's not, then it's on the line for Zidane. I think
it's very difficult to maintain. I have to say. I mean, I love Zidane, everything he did before, and taking control of this team. I mean, it's very difficult circumstances. Obviously the microscope is on every single game, every single substitution you make, every decision, every press conference is just, everyone's watching. Everyone is scrutinizing, and even when you have a win, there's, it wasn't enough. It's a half-empty kind of a mentality that they take with him. It's just that 3 straight round of 16 exits is very hard to swallow as a Madridista. I mean, that was like what we had in the 2000s, excuse me. After 2002, we were round of 16, and that was very disappointing. We've spoken with our friends over in Spain that remember those years.
Yeah, we have to win against Atalanta. We're better than Atalanta, I know we're struggling right now with injuries, but we have to win.
Yeah. If we're at 100% and they're at 100%, we're better than they are. that for sure. But unfortunately, we're not at 100%. So now you have to figure, okay, we're not at full strength, but we can still figure out a way to knock them out. So they got to figure out that way. I mean, whatever it is, defense, winning, let's say 1-0 through 2 legs and getting, moving on.
Yeah.
Something like that, because those days of scoring 4 goals, 5, you're like knocking the team out, like just knocking them out with no chance. I mean, those days are not present right now. They'll come soon, but not now.
Yeah. We need goals. We need goals. We just need that go-to person, and Karim Benzema has definitely stepped up, and we see that he was living in Cristiano's shadow, and he helped Cristiano a lot. And now, like, after he left, it took him a while to transition to that main role, and he's an excellent player, but we need more consistent goals.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Now, you've attended a Champions League final, right?
Yes, when we won against Juventus, la duodecima. And that was an incredible experience, from the departure to the end of the game, to leaving the game, to I was invited by my friend who had gotten Champions League tickets through the website from London. I meet so many people from my Global Madridista account, and it's gotten to be a community and a family, and I was invited, and I had purchased a ticket. I had purchased a ticket to go to Cardiff, and these Champions League finals, they're in these small cities, Cardiff, Kiev, and it's great, but there's not a lot of accommodation and not a lot of flights. So I had to fly into London. I had to take a bus from London to Birmingham, from Birmingham to Cardiff. And I had to arrive 1 day earlier because tickets were crazy. Airplane tickets were crazy. I think I paid one way $400 from Madrid to London, which is, you can get a one way for $30 on Ryanair. But it was, and then the hotels, what they do is they jack up the prices. It's very expensive, and there's not as many hotel rooms or Airbnbs, so it's very expensive. You have to stay with like 5 or 6 people in order to afford it. I got lucky. I got a hotel and I got an Airbnb, but my Airbnb was outside. And I went there a day early. I went to the Champions League Festival. I met Real Madrid fans on the way. Socios, I have been socios with Real Madrid since 1970. And they were offering me tickets, and because some of their friends couldn't go. And I think going to just the whole entire trip was just memorable, from leaving on the plane ticket, having Madridistas on the airplane, and getting to Cardiff, and then meeting more Madridistas. I even met a lot of Juventus fans, and I like to mingle with everybody, not just Madridistas. I like to get to know the other viewpoint of other fans, and why they're Juventus fans, how much do they hate us, are they gonna win? And we ended up like partying. They had a Champions League festival, and Steve Aoki was a DJ in the festival a day earlier, and we were just all partying together. And football is a community, and it's we all love one sport. It's a beautiful sport, and that's when you guys can come together and forget the differences for a couple hours, and then go back to being enemies afterwards.
The Juventus fans you ran into, how were they? What were they like? Did they go into that final really expecting to win, or was it more of like, we're going to play, we're going to try to go for it, but Madrid is the favorite? What was their sentiment?
Well, the day when we were together, they were very confident. They're like, yes, we're going to win. This is our final. And then the day after, when we were pre-gaming in the streets of Cardiff, they were so scared. They were so scared. we were at the bar just like having drinks. I'm always very confident in finals because, you know, Real Madrid go to finals, we win finals, you know, and I was confident. I was a little nervous, but they're quiet. Well, the ones that I ran into, and they were at a bar just drinking, and they couldn't speak. They were just fidgeting and they were nervous. But I think after a couple of beers, they were all in the streets cheering on their team.
When the anthem is playing, did you shed a tear?
Always. I think it's one of my favorite parts of going to a Real Madrid game. In the Bernabeu, the anthem of La Décima, it gets me every single time.
Yeah. That's
my favorite part of going to a game, and then also entering El Bernabeu and seeing the pitch, seeing the players on the pitch, seeing the fans. I have it right here, and that's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. Now, Cardiff, what was that city like? I've never been to Wales. What was that like?
Well, it was a smaller city, and it was beautiful. Didn't really see a lot of it, just the downtown area. They did have a Gareth Bale bar that a day before I went to, and there was like a Gareth Bale museum inside of the bar. And there was a huge line just to get in because everybody wanted to go to this bar, Gareth Bale bar. But yeah, it was a small city, but I mean, I was there I wasn't there a very long time for me to really experience it, and I was so nervous, and I just wanted to hang out with Madridistas and, you know, take in the Champions League festival. So I didn't really get to see it, but the part that I did see, it was a nice city.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's an experience that it's really amazing to go to a Champions League final. I mean, that's like a Super Bowl experience for Europeans, for people that love European soccer. I mean, it's incredible. It's unique. It really is unique.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been in Madrid for 5 years on and off. 1 year I studied, and then I went to live there for 4 years. And the 4 years that I lived there, I wanted to at least go to one final away. And so that was the duodecima. And then, la duodecima. And I wanted to experience that just there. But then I also wanted to experience one at home, to see what it was like to win the Champions League in Madrid. And when we won against Liverpool, I had a chance to go to Kiev, but again, the same thing happened. Airplane tickets were so expensive. Hotels were very expensive. I had friends that booked hotels months in advance. They got canceled, and they put them up for thousands of dollars. So another smaller city. It's beautiful as well. But I'm just like, I heard so many stories already, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stay in Madrid. So I actually got a ticket to go to watch the final at El Bernabeu from Bara. She gave me a ticket, and actually they give out tickets to Madridista card holders, and you just contact them and they give you it's free. And so you're in a stadium full of Madridistas, and you're watching the final, and that was a really cool experience too. Not as quite as amazing as being at the physical stadium and seeing them, you know, live, but this was something that I've always wanted to experience, because afterwards you go on the streets of La Castellana and everyone's celebrating, you're all hugging, and it's just it's an amazing experience.
You went, so you were in Madrid for those 3 straight Champions League titles.
No, I was there for 2 straight because I had just done my study abroad year. I had to come back to the States, and during that time it was in May, March through, it was in Chicago from March through June. So I actually watched the 11th with the Peña in Chicago. I was in Chicago. So I watched the final there.
Mhm.
And I love, shout out to Chicago, Windy City, Peña, Madridista. So they
Yes,
always
yes.
greet me with open arms, and they're such, Chicagoans. I'm from Chicago, so I'm not just going to say that we're good people. We are good people, and we're sports people, and everybody's a family. So they opened me with open arms, and I watched the 11th there.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Chicago. I love that city. I love that the people. I mean, the Pena, Alex, the chairman. I mean, he's a very, very close
Alex,
friend of mine. He was on El Paco Leonor, the last episode we had. He was on it. I mean, they're fantastic. That's a great hub for Madridistas in Chicago. Pena, Madridista, Windy City. So shout out.
Shout out to, yeah, and then also I forgot to do, when you asked me how did I become a Real Madrid fan, and I went on my own and I did that. But when I came back from Madrid, I was in California, and that's when I found you, and I researched, okay, how do I find, where can I watch Real Madrid games in LA, bars? And I was just researching, and I found you. And that's how we started our connection. And you did so much for me, actually. You invited me to your Peña, and I joined, and we went to a couple of games together. Went to a friendly in what was it up north? Berkeley, yes.
Berkeley against Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, yes, and that was a lot of fun. And we watched some games together in LA, and I supported La Peña de Sur de California when I went on my study abroad year as much as I could abroad, and they did so much for me. So.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I mean, miss you tremendously. I mean, you're really doing it. You're really having a great time where you are. You're in Texas now, right?
I am in Texas, yes. So I'm not in Madrid anymore. I decided to move back. Living in Madrid is a beautiful city. It's great. But, everyone thinks, moving abroad is so easy, and it's really not. You really have to. It's not. You can't just move abroad with, your passport. You have to have a residency there. You have to find a job there. The jobs there, it's not like the U.S. The pay is very low. The cost of living is not very high. Like the food and going out is very cheap, but rents go up in the city center. It's very difficult to find an apartment. So I decided to move back, and as I get older, I'm going to have a baby. So I decided to come back and...
Congratulations.
Thank you. To be with my family and to live here, and then just go to Madrid 2 to 3 months out of the year, hopefully during Champions League times and that prime time through March and in June.
Yeah, I mean, you attended the first ever viewing party of Peña Sur de California, the first ever, and you supported us in Madrid. I remember you taking the photo with our scarf, and boy, the sales went up.
I have it here.
Oh, she's got it. The original. This is the original scarf, limited edition.
I do. Okay, anybody wants? I'll be putting that on eBay.
All right. You're going to get a new scarf very, very soon. Very, very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the idea of a Peña because it brings community together, and you meet so many different people. And, being back in Texas, somebody told me there's a Peña here in Dallas, I believe. I'll probably reach out to them and say hello once COVID is. Yes,
there is. There is a Peña in Dallas. I know the chairman very well. He's a good friend of mine. So yeah, I'll connect you if you like.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm not really doing anything at the moment because.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I'm laying low. Yes, obviously. With COVID and everything, and laying low.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not at the moment, but they're there. They're there. There's a Peña in Houston. So yeah, there Madridismo in Texas. Oh yeah, it's vibrant. It really is. It really is. Before we get into this fiery segment of 10 rapid questions, before we get to them, Very fun segment. Global Madridista. So, where did that idea come from? Like, what was the story behind that, and what do you plan to do with that moving forward?
Right. So when I was studying abroad in Madrid, it started off as me trying to post pictures of my life in Madrid. So it wasn't Global Madridista before, it was SOPHIA in España. And
Okay.
what I noticed is that I was posting pictures of Madrid and Spain, but it was mostly Real Madrid games. It was mostly, me meeting Madridistas. And I remember my family saying, like, you just post Real Madrid stuff. Let me, show me pictures of Spain. And so I decided to kind of just change it as I went along, because I went to so many games and I wanted to post my experiences and also just like recaps of games after, because I did study sports, well, not sports journalism, but journalism, and I kind of wanted to just use that as a platform to express my experiences and also recaps of games. So it started with that, and it changed into Global Madridista. It's changed a couple of times because I've had it for like 3 or 4 years. And, people change, and now it's Global Madridista, and it's basically my experiences and recaps of games and my opinions of players and what I think for the season. And I did start a YouTube channel of my games, but it's a lot of work, as you know. As you know.
Yes.
It's a lot of work to maintain it. And I just decided that I'm just going to stick to Instagram and just grow my community through Instagram. And I've met so many people from Indonesia, from India, from around the world, a big from the Middle East, so many fans from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, so many people. So that's how it started. And I did take a break because I was stressed out. I was in the middle of moving back from Madrid to Dallas. So I just decided to take a break. And, you need a social media break sometimes, just to, organize your thoughts, just to relax. And now I'm back. I decided I'm going to post my picture.
To quote Michael Jordan, I'm back.
I'm back. Yeah, I have a shirt when he did come back, and it says literally "I'm back" in the day that he came back. So,
oh, nice! There you go.
I haven't worn it yet, but I do have that. Yeah, and I'm doing it for the fans and for me as an outlet to express my love for Real Madrid, and because it'll always be there. And I would watch the games, but I wouldn't post anything afterwards.
Right. Well, I'll say this. I mean, I'm really happy for you. Really happy that you're back on the scene and you're doing so well. Back in the States again. I mean, it was great seeing you in Madrid. Posting videos and photos and it really makes me happy to see that the experience of Real Madrid is enhancing lives. That is something that, besides the games, besides the sport itself, it's the experience of it's a life experience that is really beneficial to our mental health, and it's really great. I'm really happy for that, and that Executive Madridismo was spurned because I was thinking, let's create an arena where we can come together and discuss these experiences and discuss the team, and it happened during this pandemic. I mean, the pandemic has been horrible for millions and millions of people, obviously, but looking through the silver lining, if you could, this is a digital way to connect with you and with others that love Real Madrid around the world, and this is the way to do it. COVID safe, obviously. So, in time, post pandemic, I mean, there'll be more in person, charlas or the podcast at Palco del Norte in a brand new studio, let's say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really, really, really am happy about that, and really happy that you're doing well, and great to reconnect with you. You know, and this is through this medium now, but I mean, yeah, really happy for that. And so for Real Madrid, you know, we have this is the other thing I was going to ask you. One last question. The women's team. So when the women's team, you know, was created, I mean, what'd you think of that?
What took you so long? What took so long to create a women's team? My goodness, everybody. Yeah, I was very, very happy that it happened. But yeah, it definitely took a long time for a club like Real Madrid to have a women's team. But we have one now. We can't be negative. But yeah, slowly but surely, women's football. Hopefully, I mean, in the United States, women's soccer is huge, and hopefully now, you know, with Real Madrid taking that step, you know, it can grow even bigger, because, you know, Barcelona has a team, Atletico has a team, why not Real Madrid? And yeah, it's baby steps, you know, transition. It's not going to be an amazing team in the beginning because, you know, they don't have all of these resources. I mean, they have a lot of resources compared to other teams, but it's going to be baby steps. But I'm very excited. You know, today actually they won 3-1 against Valencia. Alison Aslani scored 3 goals in like 3 minutes.
Ooh, hat trick!
Yeah, hat trick. We need her. We need her on our team. So I'm very happy about that. I'm happy that I'm not sure how it's going to work with the academy now. If they're going to have an academy, I'm sure they're going to. I want to do a little bit more research in that. But it's just amazing to see little girls now dreaming of playing for Real Madrid.
It would be amazing when the new Bernabeu is finished and the women's team plays a game in the Bernabeu. That will be a historic moment.
Wow, yes, definitely. I want to be there when that happens, because I believe there was a record set. I think Atletico de Madrid, the women's team, played against Barcelona, and they set a record in El Calderón with, I think, 65,000 people attending a women's game. And that, I'd love to see that at El Bernabeu.
Oh, that's going to get eclipsed big time. New Bernabeu, and you pick the right game.
Yeah.
It's going to, yeah, absolutely. It's going to get surpassed, no doubt. I'm really happy and relieved that it finally did happen. You know, yeah, like you said, long time coming. Atletico and Barcelona do have programs that have been going on for over 20 years, and they've been competing in Champions Leagues and going after Liga Femenina. You know, I mean, that's, yeah, they're at another level than us. But you know, can you imagine going to Madrid and you could go to a men's game, go to a women's game, go to a basketball game, go to an academy game? I mean, man, there's nothing else left to do.
I'm telling you, you go to Madrid and you just, it's all Real Madrid.
It's all Real Madrid.
It's all Real Madrid.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, Madrid is a small city, so you can see Madrid in like one or 2 days. But yeah, it's all Real. I went there to see Real Madrid.
Yeah. Well, I you know, of course, number one, that. Number two, you know, in my own case, I loved going to the museums. I loved going to Prado, Tyson. Yeah. Like, I love doing that too. The art. I mean, you gotta go check it out, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have some of the best museums.
And then the food, the people. I mean, I'm in touch with so. I mean, I imagine you as well. I mean, the people there are just so nice, so family oriented, hardworking, passionate. Very passionate, speaking our language, you know, like in how they go about their lives, you know. So when Madrid win, it's woohoo, you know. All when they lose, my goodness, fire everybody, fire everybody.
Yeah,
never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Yeah, the press. Well, the press here is in Spain is something else. It's a lot different than in the United States. They. You know, criticize.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, we have friends in the media. I have a few of them that are on TV every night, you know, doing their thing. And I remember I was having lunch with a couple of journalists from a famous program that I won't name, and I said something very just calmly, and then this one journalist blew up in my face and was just berating me as if we were on a program. Like, I looked at him like, are the cameras on? Are we on TV? What did I do? What did I say? Like, here, have another glass.
Yeah, you have to watch what you say. I mean, the people are very nice, but it's a different culture. They're very passionate, you know, and they're very just different than in the United States, where you can have just have a normal conversation about what's happening in sports and not have somebody get offended so easily. And
yeah, exactly. It's just that's the way you have to gauge it. You have to figure out where can we find that common ground of just let's chill, let's have a good time and chat. And you know, there's certain things that are out of bounds. Maybe I don't think they are, but the other side doesn't agree with that. And there you go. You know, it's a nuance, the nuance of communicating with individuals from outside of your country, outside your culture.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I learned a lot, you know, being from the United States and being in Spain. It's like a different perspective. I mean, just with any culture, you know, you learn, and you know, that's what's great about living abroad. You know, you get to learn about other people and how to deal with them, and you grow as a person and you understand people a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go. Okay, we're in this segment. It's called the final stretch. All right, 10 rapid questions. All right, you ready to go?
All right.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're going for points now, all right? Here we go. Number 1, which genre do you like to dance to more, reggaeton or salsa?
Salsa.
Salsa, cool. All right, number 2, which actor would you want to play opposite in a blockbuster?
Which actor in a blockbuster? Oh, God. First, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, nice, okay. Number 3, favorite midnight snack?
Chocolate.
Ah, seed candy?
I have a big sweet tooth.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Number 4, name a fear you want to overcome.
Heights. I'm very scared of heights. Very scared.
Okay. So if we go to Chicago and we go to the Willis Tower, you're not joining me then?
I can go up there, but it's just me going to the edge is where.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going for.
I can't look over. I can't.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Number 5, which foreign destination you never visited before do you want to go to post-pandemic?
You know, it sounds very weird. I mean, not weird, but I would love to go to India. I met so many people last year. I did a master's program, and I met so many people from India, and they were just amazing people, very hospitable, and they've invited me to go back. So that's on my radar.
Maybe I'll join you because I have friends that have a penya over there in India. So we gotta go check out the Taj Mahal. Go check,
it's very big. So they live in the south of India, so I think go down there first.
All right, you handle the south. I'll handle Delhi.
It's the beach area.
And then we'll meet some. Yeah, you know how it goes, right? We'll meet there. All right, number 6. Which legend would you want to interview more? Okay, Michael Jordan or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Michael Jordan. I know. Don't hate me.
No hesitation.
Michael Jordan is my idol. My son is going to be named after Michael Jordan. So.
Ah, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah. Very nice. Number 7, if you had $5 million, would you buy a villa in Tuscany or a high-rise in Manhattan?
A villa in Tuscany.
Absolutely. I don't think $5 million is going to do it in high-rise in Manhattan. Maybe for a bathroom.
No, I'm over the city life. Another reason why I left Madrid. You know, I have 2 dogs. I have a family that I'm going to be raising, and I love nature. You know, I love being in peace. I don't like a lot of people around me, and a villa in Tuscany just sounds so peaceful. In Tuscany.
You'll have your Apollonia moment, you know, having the grapes, you know.
Yeah, wine.
Going through, yeah. Going through, making wine. All right, number 8, In-N-Out or Five Guys?
In-N-Out. Oh, Five Guys in Madrid. Oh.
Yeah, I love it. In-N-Out, love it. Number 9. Yes, yes, there's the Cali in you right there. That's the Cali. By the way, In-N-Out is in Texas now.
Yes, it is. I had it.
It's in Texas.
Yes. Yes, and the line is always out the door. Like in LA.
Love it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, In-N-Out, love it. Number 9, if you could score a World Cup winning goal, which goalkeeper would it be against?
My goodness. Okay, well, I don't know that many goalkeepers. I mean, I know soccer, but I mean,
you got Neuer, Buffon, Casillas. Okay.
Of course.
Wow. Okay. Number 10. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, number 10. So you're the head coach of the Mexican national team. All right. You can only choose one forward to go to the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Who do you choose? Chicharito or Carlos Vela?
I mean, Carlos Vela is having his moment right now with LAFC. I mean, he's the best player, you know, in the MLS, and he did really good with Real Sociedad, and they're giving him crap for leaving, you know, the Spanish league, and then now he's in LA, which I think he's doing really well. But at the moment, I definitely go with Carlos Vela because Chicharito, I don't even know what team he's playing. He's had his chances, you know, and I love him as a player. I love his dedication. I think he's.
You remember that goal he scored for us?
Yes,
right.
I was at that game in El Bernabeu.
Yeah,
I was at the game, and I remember I had a drink spill on. It was. I mean, they don't have beer at the games in Madrid. That's another thing I learned. They don't sell beer in Europe, in soccer games in Europe. I think in Germany they do, but not in Spain because it's just crazy. So yeah, I was at that game. It was, you know, when he scored, it was chaotic and it was amazing.
Yeah, so this is 2015 quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid in Champions League, 0-0 first leg in the Calderón. Mm-hmm. They go back to Bernabeu second leg, 0-0 second half, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Goal, Cristiano passes it in. Chicharito finishes 1-0. Madrid to the semis.
Yes.
That's the yes. Story.
Well, I mean, I love Chicharito. He had his moment, but
the most famous goal he ever scored for Real Madrid.
most famous, then that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You served your purpose.
I love him. But...
Yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah, I loved him too in that moment. All right, so that's it for that. So let's go to the calculator. You got 3,100,000 points.
Woohoo!
You are the leader, the new leader. Wow. Hey. Okay, that's it. You're setting the bar high. Love it. Sophia, thank you so much for being with us on Charlas con Cristian. I really hope to see you very, very soon. Stay safe with your family and, you know, blessings upon your home and for Michael coming into the world. Do you have a message for our audience before we go?
Yes. A la Madrid siempre, en las buenas and las malas, in the good and the bad. We're always going to be Madridistas. You know, we have to stick with the team no matter what. The team above anything, above any player, which is hard, but a la Madrid, and let's go for La Liga, and let's go for the champions this year. We can do it.
Love you. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Sophia, stay safe. We'll be in touch very soon. So until next time, everyone.